Guild Wars 2 is one of the best online RPGs in years. It's the kind of game that inspires stories. Stories about how you and your guildmates captured a tower and then ran off before you were overrun by an enemy horde. About how you defeated a giant lightning-breathing dragon when it landed in a dark valley. Guild Wars 2 makes you feel like part of a vast living landscape instead of a slave to a bunch of dudes with exclamation points over their heads. How does Guild Wars 2 make Tyria so inviting and inventive? It starts with the loss of the traditional quest log. In a sense, your map serves as a journal. It directs you to points of interest and characters in need. It isn't just the marked activities that have you exploring, however, but the surprises lurking on mountaintops and within hidden caves. One minute, you're mining iron in the high crags of a mountain, and suddenly you're stumbling upon a secret entrance or needing to escape a hidden maze. And in the case of big world events, you're encountering a big dragon and joining a legion of nearby players to vanquish it. Or a giant hand is reaching from under the earth as if a trapped golem is escaping. From the way it delivers quests to the way the world is designed, Guild Wars 2 rethinks old standards in new ways. For instance, like in other MMOs, you can visit low-level areas, but here your level scales downward in such places so that your foes are an actual threat. And your reward scales to your actual level, so there's a reason to be there beyond the change of scenery. By rethinking a single trope, developer ArenaNet makes each swamp and valley a tantalizing destination. Further pushing you to roam the lands are vistas. Vista points are scattered about Tyria and appear as glowing bits of parchment. Navigating tricky jumping puzzles is usually pleasurable enough, though not so much when the camera's getting caught on walls and ceilings in the more confined places. But the effort is always worthwhile. You activate the vista, and the camera spins about, showing off the spectacular panorama surrounding you. While you do get experience for unlocking these vistas, the greater reward is getting the chance to admire Tyria. Guild Wars 2 is a beautiful and diverse game that makes a bold impression. Techniques like brushstrokes and streaked textures give environments the look of a painting. Add to this visual beauty a swooning orchestral score that contrasts simple melodies with triumphant fanfares, and you have a fantasy world that eclipses most others. Guild Wars 2's reimagining of so many role-playing standards has a downside. The game doesn't do a great job of introducing you to its concepts, but you soon become accustomed to thinking in a new way, and can appreciate how the game respects your time and strips away the usual padding. Need to free up some inventory and deposit crafting supplies in the bank? Just do it right from your inventory screen. Want to travel across the entire continent? Just click on an unlocked waypoint and teleport there. Of course, you may also appreciate the lack of a monthly fee. You can buy certain conveniences from a real money store, such as more inventory space or armor dyes, but none of these items affects your skill level compared to other players. The moment-to-moment gameplay is as impressive as everything else in Guild Wars 2. Combat and movement feel exceptionally responsive. Superficially, Guild Wars 2's combat system resembles that of other MMOs, in the sense that you have a bar of skill icons at the bottom of the screen. But there's a deeper system here than initially meets the eye. Notably, you have only 10 main skill slots. 5 are based on the particular weapons you equip, and 5 are class skills. But you also have 2 sets of weapons at any given time and can switch between them on the fly. In doing so, you access a completely different set of attacks. Skill cooldown rates are quick, and being a successful player means frequently changing sets in combat, and that, in turn, means staying consistently engaged in battle.
Now, Magister, strike down the ghost.
Class skills also bring with them a lot of flexibility. You eventually unlock all sorts of skills, but only use 5 at a time. But even with just those 5 skills in play, you exercise more control than you might think. You could have additional pet skills to manage, different elements you can attune to, or various utility skills to manage. With this flexible class system, Guild Wars 2 gets rid of typical MMO roles. This works out better in the game's enjoyable 5-man dungeons than you would think, since you still have to coordinate targets and remain nimble. Even when battles are just a vast crowd slashing away at a big bad meanie, the sheer scope of the event keeps excitement levels high. Guild Wars 2's player versus player battlefields are stupendous, particularly the world versus world warfare. In these persistent war zones, players from 3 servers vie for dominance by capturing keeps and overwhelming the enemy. The largest skirmishes are beautiful, terrifying madness with dozens if not hundreds of combatants. Such battles instill a sense of triumph when you succeed, but defending a keep only to abandon it when it's overrun is heartbreaking. You can also face other players in one-off battles, in which case you're not only bumped up to max level, but you gain access to all available class skills as well. These matches are exciting tests of skill and fun playgrounds for various character builds. While there have been some bugged events, some trading post problems, and other oddities, Guild Wars 2 has had a mostly successful launch. There's so much more that could be said about this game. The branching story paths, crafting at the Mystic Forge, the underwater combat, and that says a lot about the vastness of this online world. Tyria isn't just a place you should visit, it's the place you should call your next online home.
Innocent villagers are in danger. Someone has to help. I will show the people that we can triumph, that there is still hope. This is my story.